Welcome to the Worship Keys podcast. My name is Carson Bruce. We talk all things music theory, gear, industry, and ministry for your worship keys playing. I'd like to thank Aerospace Audio for being a sponsor of this episode. They create unique, incredible, high-quality atmospheric drone pads to be used for your worship services, productions, songwriting sessions, whatever it may be. And they have an analog, physical drone pedal that they call Atmosphere. There's actually a version 3 out. They also have a MIDI in capability so you can work in tandem with Ableton Live or any other DAW that you have to be able to control everything through that ecosystem. Or if not the physical analog pedal, they also have an iOS app that you can run the pad straight from your iPhone or iPad. It's called AeroPads. Definitely check them out, aerospaceaudio.com. And let's get into today's episode.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Otto Gross, returning to the Worship Keys podcast. I love what Carson's doing with this podcast. You might have seen me before, play a little bit, and been on with my wife before. And today we are at my church here in Nashville, Christ Church Nashville. I serve here as the Director of Worship and Arts. And we'll just talk a little bit about what we do maybe on a typical Sunday and our little small setup and what it looks like, and maybe I'll play a little bit for you. So here goes. So I'll start back here with the console, which is my front of house guys would say this is pretty old. We're probably going to get a new one very soon. But it's the old Digi Design, the venue profile. And on Sundays, we track everything we do. Very simple setup. Again, this is nothing super spectacular, but it does have what we need to do what we need to do. So I'm going to track today if we play anything, but I've got Pro Tools queued up here. We typically have a choir on Sundays. We always have a choir every Sunday, and then a small kind of front worship team, which is somewhere between 4 and 7 singers given any given Sunday. And instrumentation will be drums. We have an electric kit, guitar, bass, organ, kind of aux keys, main keys, percussion, and then we'll have a horn section. The percussion and horn section, they're not set up right now because we're breaking down for some other stuff, but yeah, that's what we have. So let's jump on in. Take a walk with me. Oh, I heard something.
Sound like an organ up there.
Might have been.
You got an organ in here?
We do have an organ, but not a pipe organ, no.
Oh, okay, I was like,
yeah,
the Phantom of the Opera is here.
We got the good old Hammond B3. On Worship Keys podcast before, I think y'all have probably seen me play a Yamaha XF or XS. So we just got this board. It's the CP88, which I love this board a lot. I am a motif guy. I love motifs, but I also love the CP88. I love Nord. I love a lot of boards. I love keyboards. But this one in particular really just feels special to me. The action is great. Anyway, so I'll play main keys here. Our auxiliary keyboard isn't set up right now, but organ will be here, aux keys will be here. That's usually the motif. Our bass player, who actually is the MD, is a great guy. His name is Carl Fields. He plays bass, but he also will run stems sometimes. I have him set up with the laptop here. Sometimes we'll do Ableton if we're doing more robust stuff. But for what we do on Sundays, Playback works great. So sometimes Carl will trigger that, and sometimes I will. If I need to, I'll trigger it. And I think this is one of my favorite things about this is if I need to trigger it, I can just do that here from my iPad. So just got a little shaker loop, something happening. So very easy to trigger if I need to. And yeah, so Carl will be there. Our drummer, Dre, he'll be playing. We have an electric kit, pretty simple setup. Sometimes guitars will be on this side. Sometimes it'll be on that side with the horns. Honestly, I don't want the electric kit, but I also understand the value. Like I said earlier, we have a choir every week. And if you pan up top there, you see the choir mics where they're supposed to be. We've got mics in every section. And, you know, we are, in a very big way, we are a singing church. This church does believe in the power and the blessing of singing. And so does Scripture. Scripture says that. We're commanded to sing, and that is something that's encouraged. And so in that light, we do want to be intentional about sound and sonics. And in the room that we currently have, it would be a lot easier. If we had a real kit, it'd be a bit more feasible if we had a drum cage, something like that. But since we don't, a real kit can easily just boom, boom, right into these mics. And before you know it, you're hearing all drums and no voices. And right now we want to hear voices and drums together. So eventually we might get to a place where, you know, we can get a cage or something like that for drums. But for now, just for volume, until we can kind of situate what we need, we've got an electric kit. And that just helps us with acoustics and sonics. And, you know, it allows our front of house guys to manage stuff a little more effectively. And I totally get it. So I'm on both sides of the spectrum. As a producer, I completely understand stage volume, all that. As a performer, I completely understand wanting to play real skins. You know what I mean? So I'll play 1 second's worth. This is not why. That's enough. So anyway, that's the kit right there. I don't know about that. I used to. I'll just pull up, this is an original song that we do here at Christ Church. So I'll just pull up the stems for it and play along or something. I wrote this with a friend, actually 3 friends from Nashville. Christopher Williams, my wife, a girl named Jen Wilson, friend of ours. And who else?
You gonna sing too?
Matt Singleton was on it. I'm probably not gonna sing. I've got vocals queued up in here. So we've got the stems going into this PreSonus here. It's a Studio 1824. This is kind of our system between drums and everything else that needs to happen. And so laptop can be anywhere. We do drums and perk, left and right, click, bass, keys, stereo. We'll actually probably put aux key stereo soon that way. Stems left and right, vocals left and right. And then we've got mine, because I kind of bounce back and forth. This is another thing that a lot of music directors and, you know, leaders use. But here, the Whirlwind Talkback system, it's great because I love having a sustain pedal as a switch.
Sure.
So this is my sustain pedal for the actual keyboard.
Yeah.
But when I want to talk to the band, I press it down.
No way, bro.
And then when it's up, I'm talking to the congregation. So it's really great. I love that.
Wow.
And it's a great system for me. But toggling back and forth between the two. I don't know.
When you have a cold or something?
Right, something. I need to Google that. I'm sure.
That's amazing.
I think this was like used by like airplane pilots or engineers. I really should have my media director here because he could answer all of the good questions.
Yes.
I only know simple stuff. This is talk to band. This is talk to congregation. So.
Have you ever messed that up? No, you're pretty good with it.
I'm trying to think. People have asked me that before. Have I messed that up? I'm sure I have. I should probably ask the band. I'm sure I have once or twice. Sure. But you do get used to it. You get pretty used to it.
That's funny.
I haven't messed it up bad enough to where you could really tell. It was probably me whispering and you know, something. You've probably seen these before. So this is just plain talkback. But the reason I love mine is because it allows me to go from talking to the congregation to just talking to the band. And I love that flexibility. So this is a tune that we haven't released yet, but it's called Feet of Jesus that I wrote with some. Yeah, man. So
Yes, bro. Oh, man.
it's a fun time. It's a fun time. I think I get excited about how technology like allows us to do, what it allows us to do. I know there are many different people on both sides of the fence when it comes to technology and AI and all the things. And I just think, when at the very least, if your heart is in the place of, I want to create, I want people to have a great time, I want to honor and bless with what I'm gifted to do, I think that kind of helps just steer all of that stuff and how to use it and when to use it and when not to. And for all of the worship directors and worship pastors and music directors, and even the other areas, front of house and media, at the end of the day, I know not every place can afford everything. I mean, we're in a society where sometimes you just can't get what you feel like you need to. I think something that was sort of drilled into me growing up in a small church where my dad was the pastor, and I always saw Dad be very intentional about what he had. And something he and my mother both would always teach us is use what you have. He had a saying that I'm sure I'm going to butcher it. It's something like, ask for what you want, take what you get, use what you got until you get what you want. Something like that, right? To me, what's more important than having the latest whatever is you learning how to use whatever it is that you already have. I know so many cats that, some of them, they have the Omnisphere, and some of them have the Keyscape and all the latest things in Arturia. And still, though, all those guys, all those young ladies, they started off with just a couple of things. In college, we might have started off with just GarageBand. If you only could use GarageBand for the rest of your life and you love making music, are you going to stop making music because you only have GarageBand? No. You're going to figure out how to get the most you can out of what you have. And I think that's special. In fact, I'm a big proponent of creativity. And my whole thing with creativity is what can look like a limit usually turns into something even more massive. You feel like you put boxes on something, but those boxes can turn into something that makes your mind be more creative, and that's something that I enjoy. I've been in a lot of schools and done lots of different kind of classes with young kids where we talk about what are all of the different ways that you can make music. You don't need an instrument. You don't need a piano. You don't need a drum set. You can make music just on your body. In fact, I'm a living witness. That's something I do every day of my life, right? And so as encouragement to those in churches that might not have the budget that you want to have, you have something special in what you already have. Just learn how to use it. Just learn how to use it as best you can. Get all of, like dish rag it, I'll say. Get all of the juice that you can out of that thing. If you have just one little program, use it well. If you've got Logic, use it well. If you got Pro Tools, use it well. If you got a Casio keyboard that it was from Walmart, use it well. Figure out how you can do what you need to do. And you'll find so much joy and even more appreciation when you do get the high dollar things. If you can use the low dollar stuff really, really well, then when it comes time to play all of the new fangled stuff, man, you can appreciate it even more, and it allows you to be even more creative. So that's my encouragement in that kind of sense, is you don't need $1 million to make something sound like $1 million. You know what I mean? You just need to shed with your instrument. You just need to shed with the gear that you have. So anyway, I hope that helps. I hope that's encouraging to somebody. Again, this is Otto Gross. It's good to see y'all, and I'll talk to you soon on the Worship Keys podcast.